Hey team, and welcome back to my channel. This is our first Habit Month video, so everybody welcome. For those of you who didn't see my last one, all of this month I am making videos about habits. Because it is Habit Month, videos are going to be coming out twice a week. Ooh, interesting. So I'll be doing videos every Monday and every Thursday. So let's try and really kickstart these things. So if you see anything that you think you can implement, give it a go. Let's start getting really intentional and really productive in our lives. So because it is our first video of Habit Month, of course what I'm going to be talking about is habits themselves. What are they? How are they formed? And how can we use this psychology to break them? Your brain is trying to convert as much information as it can into automatic processes so it can use all of its conscious thinking and decision making towards important ends that require it. So the more that we're doing things like making a cup of tea in the morning, the less the decision making portions of your brain will activate to make that happen. The more it turns into a habit. Your brain physically uses different places once a habit is formed. It no longer uses conscious processing. It instead reverts it into our animal brain and it becomes almost muscle memory. In fact, the idea of muscle memory and habitual routine are the same thing. It's that your brain is not involved consciously in processing any of this information anymore. Your brain has skipped out on that section and has decided that your primitive brain can take over that role. Because you do it so often, you're always going to need it. We can just hardwire that instead. It is widely regarded that habits are made out of 3 steps. And you need to fulfill all these 3 steps for a habit to start to formulate. These 3 steps are cue, routine, reward. Once you've made it through all of those 3 stages, cue, routine, reward, the next thing that solidifies a habit is repetition. So once this habit is formed, once it's physically moved into muscle memory, physically moved into hardwired routine, how do we break habits? The easiest way to break a habit is to reset the second stage of it. Pay attention to cues. In order to have a habit built, it needs a cue. So this could be something as simple as, I'm tired, I'm hungry. The easiest one is junk food. Your cue will be, I'm hungry, I feel like food. It won't specifically be, I feel like junk food, it's just used to getting that reward. Instead of cue, I'm hungry, routine, I'm gonna go get junk food, reward, I've eaten and feel full, you're going to replace that middle step with, I'm hungry, I'm going to cook dinner, I have been fed. So that's the portion that you need to change. You need to actively pay attention to what your cues are and readjust your routine. Ensure that you still get a reward at the end of it and your brain will start to reformulate that habitual movement. An important thing to note is that habits don't often disappear. This is why even if you haven't driven a car in 4 months, you can still drive without actively thinking about it. It's why the phrase like riding a bike exists, because it's something that once learned will stay with you. This is important to note because old habits are always simmering under the surface and can re-emerge at any time. This doesn't mean if you start an old habit that you can't reset it again. It just means that you've learned something and your body remembers how to do that habit. Setbacks are just that, setbacks. Failure is an important part of learning. Don't beat yourself up if an old habit re-emerges. Reshape it into something new. You can, of course, always use this formula to build brand new habits as well, but keep in mind that this is usually harder than adjusting an old habit because you're used to the cue. So if your body already understands the cue, the easier it is to build a new routine and a response. To create an entirely new habit is a lot of hard work. This is when doing things like elimination becomes really helpful. If we're using our junk food example again, then it's making sure that you don't have easy access to all of those things. Delete junk food apps from your phone, make sure you don't stock it in your cupboard, write a grocery list and make sure you stick to it when you go to the supermarket. Pack snacks for going to work. Make it as easy as humanly possible to redo your cue. And one of those things is access. The easier access is to the old routine and the old route of the habit, the more likely your brain is going to take that route. But eliminate those barriers. So to build a new habit, set an obvious cue. Set an obvious reward. These are the bookends of your routine that will help to make it stick. Use the knowledge of how habits function within your brain to create something new, to create the life that you want. There are some really amazing resources about habit building and about the process of how habits work. I'm going to put those in the description box below for you. I fully recommend them. If you want to stay reminded of Habit Month videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and then ring that bell and it'll pop up in your notifications when we're posting new videos. I am posting twice a week during this month of habit building fun, so keep an eye out for new videos. Those posts will happen every Monday and every Thursday. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. If you like what you saw, click the thumbs up button. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you. So thank you so much for subscribing and I will see you in my next one. Cheers for hanging out. Bye!